In the fall of 1948, Curtis LeMay was put in charge of SAC, the Strategic Air Command, with orders to shape up the Air Force unit responsible for atomic attack.
The 22nd, when I first went to it, was a hodgepodge of people and airplanes. We could hardly keep the airplanes in commission. A lot of my people were untrained. They had been assigned to the outfit, but they'd never been in a B-29 before. And by the time I left it 3 years later, it was a going Jesse.
LeMay believed that in the nuclear age, strategic bombing alone would be decisive. There must be no ceiling, no boundaries, no limits to our air power, he declared. The Air Force must be allowed to develop unhindered and unchained.
He has such a reputation for being an iron ass, a tough, hard, thoughtless man. And if you really knew him, you knew that he was inside, he was a real softy. He loved the guys that worked for him and flew for him. He suffered deeply when they didn't come back from missions. And he knew that incompetence is what killed people.
My goal, LeMay stated, was to build a force so professional, so strong, so powerful that we would not have to fight. In other words, we had to build a deterrent force, and it had to be good.
LeMay understood that atomic weapons would be decisive, and that therefore you couldn't hold off the enemy while you built the bombs you needed to defend yourself. You had to have everything in place on day one, because there would only be the first day and the second day and maybe the third day, and then it would all be over.
By 1949, LeMay's first war plan was ready. It called for attacks on 70 Soviet cities, using 133 atomic bombs during the first few days of war. The concept was dubbed killing a nation.
It's a truism of people who really understand violence, that you hit the enemy with everything you've got, whether you're in a fist fight or whether you're in a war. And you hit them up front and you take them out with overwhelming force before they have a chance to get you. All those basic principles of violence were multiplied 1,000,000 times over by the fact of nuclear weapons, the fact that one bomb could essentially destroy a city and 50 bombs a country. Under those circumstances, you only had one punch, you only had one chance.
But President Harry Truman was skeptical. This isn't just another weapon, not just another bomb, he said. People make a mistake when they talk about it that way. We will never use it again if we can possibly help it. But, added the president, I know the Russians would use it if they had it.